Yo, what's going on, guys? Johnny GB here, bringing you guys week 1 of the Pokemon for Glory Next Generation. This is a pretty much good opportunity for me to grow as a battler, as there's quite a few good players in this league. Actually, probably 15 or 16 good players in this league. And we are taking on one that I have played numerous times and have encountered in numerous leagues. Taking on Jacob as always, and the Green Bay Pikachus. So you guys saw by the team builder what we have, why we're bringing it, and what he has on his team. On the screen there, you guys see he did bring the Tentacruel, the Landorus, Mega Mawile, Blacephalon, Jolteon, and Umbreon. So a lot of what I prepped for, he did end up bringing, being the Mega Mawile, Blacephalon, Landorus offensive kind of core. Unfortunately, no Trick Room with Porygon 2, so I really thought Trick Room would be an option. But I don't think he wanted me to get the advantage with Magearna and some of my other slower threats. But we are going to hop right into this battle here. A very difficult, but a very good battle, actually. And something I was actually having fun with throughout the game, especially having the challenge. So he's going to lead off with his Tentacruel here, which I really wasn't expecting. I led off with my Greninja because if he let off Landorus, I can force him out, set up a Toxic Spike, set up a Spike. But here, it pretty much ruined me setting up a Toxic Spike. So I just go for the extra sensory here, mostly to see what kind of Tentacruel is he. Is he a physically defensive? Is he specially defensive? If specially defensive, it should do about 50 to 60%. This shows that he has quite a bit of special defense into it, as he's going to set up a Toxic Spike. So this is a big issue for me because I have no hazard removal on my team. All my removal is supposed to be in Defog Silvally, but I did not end up bringing Defog Silvally. I ended up bringing Multi-Attack, Ice Beam, Pursuit, and Parting Shot. So now I have hazards on my side of the field. So I have to go to Magearna right away, as he's going to double and actually go out to his Jolteon. So I really wasn't sure what the Jolteon was here on this hard switch going into Greninja, because Jolteon's not the bulkiest thing in the world. Now that was probably a good opportunity for me to set up a Spike. He's going to go for the Volt Switch here, so this allows me to set up a Calm Mind. He ends up getting a crit, unfortunately. It happens, it's Pokemon. He's going to go out to Clinton Dix, the Blacephalon, and me setting up a Calm Mind means I have to go straight into Silvally. I can't go into anything else. I mean, there's Kecleon potentially on the Flamethrower, Fire Blast, Shadow Ball, but Silvally is my best option so that I can try and Pursuit and or Parting Shot. Parting Shot would be probably the optimal play, as he can go out into stuff like Landorus to check my Silvally, pretty much actually even counter it, because I don't outspeed Silvally. Now, the Toxic Spikes are now going to take effect into my Silvally, so unfortunately for me, Silvally is now on a timer. It has no sense of recovery. It's going to take a Flamethrower, take about 20% or so, which, you know what, I'm okay with, because now I can A, Pursuit it, B, Parting Shot, or C, I can potentially Ice Beam on a Landorus Therian switch in. So I'm in a very good spot here with Silvally out on the field. Feel like I can get some good momentum here. Now, I just go for the Parting Shot, really just predicting him to switch out. There's no reason he's going to stay in and take potentially Sucker Punch. Now, I could have pursued to really weaken the Blacephalon. But Parting Shot and going out into, I believe it's my Greninja again, to really just try and force this Tentacruel out. And I really regret not getting up a Spike there, as I actually do go to Lycanroc. Now this is to scare him out and force him to go to his Landorus, so I can see what kind of Landorus this is. My play, as soon as I sent out my Lycanroc, was Toxic. I know he's probably fearing that Drill Run kills from this range, so he needs a little bit of recovery. So I fire off a Toxic this turn, mostly to catch the Landorus on the switch, which to me will work out very good, just because now I can start weakening this Landers is he's going to go out to A-Rod, which is the Landorus Therian. And I do connect the Toxics now, so having this move on Lycanroc for the Landorus ended up actually working out in the long run for me. So now I can swap out into my Tentacruel here and be able to eat up an Earthquake. Thankfully, Jacob did not draft Flyinium Z. He actually ended up drafting Groundinium. So I don't have to really worry about the Landorus as much. It's still a threat. SD, Rock Polish, 2 attacks can pretty much just sweep me. So having a Tangrowth as a intermediate switch into this Landorus is beneficial for me. So pretty much the play here is double right out into my Tangrowth and see if he's just going to go for Earthquake, if he's going to go for Substitute. I really want to see what this Lando is. He does not have leftovers, so my thought is he's probably Groundinium Z, which, you know what, I'm okay with if he's Flyinium. He's actually going to make a double on his own and go to Brienne, which is the Mega Mawile, which, you know what, is fine by me. I have nothing wrong with him going into Mega Mawile. I have Earthquake, Leech Seed, so one thing I did not take note of was the Intimidate. When I was playing the game, I did actually not notice the Intimidate. I figured, you know what? I can now 2-hit KO this thing with Earthquake. And with the 2-hit KO, I can get rid of the Mega Mawile. I do have the Rocky Helmet, so Earthquake will really help me in 2-hit KO in case he wants to go for Play Rough, Iron Head, something like that. So here I just fire off the Earthquake, pretty much to see the kind of Mawile he is. And this is where I was really thinking he was a very physically defensive Mawile, but it was me not really paying attention to the Iron Head damage. And I also went for Earthquake, simply predicting potentially a Blacephalon switch in. As he's going to actually get his Stealth Rocks up, he sees I have no hazard removal, so Stealth Rocks now, I'm having Stealth Rock damage, I'm having Toxic Spikes affect my Pokemon. Pretty much everything on my team is going to be on a timer at this point, right now. As I'm just going to fire off a Leech Seed here, as he goes out into his Umbreon, so I can start gaining recovery, and the Leech Seed plus Toxic Spike damage, because he only got the 1 Toxic Spike, kind of just even out on each other. So it keeps my Tangrowth relatively healthy throughout this battle. So having the Leech Seed is very good for me in terms of long-term success in this battle, because I can still phase out some of his Pokemon and start wearing them down. Here, I figure he's probably just going to end up Wish Passing or trying to check my Tangrowth. So I'm firing off a Knockoff. I wanted the leftovers gone from the Umbreon. So Knockoff to me is just the basic play for me. As he does actually go into Clinton Dix, the Blacephalon, I'm able to get rid of its Choice Scarf. So now pretty much everything on my team outspeeds it for the most part, the Pokemon that I need it to. So at this range, Greninja kills with Extra Sensory, Lycanroc kills with Excel Rock, Kecleon can kill it with Sucker Punch. So Blacephalon to me is no threat at all. Here I actually, in a way, misplay. I go out to Silvally, and this was not me thinking about having Stealth Rocks on my team or on my side of the field. Had I gone Kecleon, I can Sucker Punch this thing, I can click Knockoff on anything that comes in, and I would have been able to keep my Silvally. Here, there's not much I can do. He does get the crit, doesn't matter, because another Flamethrower, poison damage, does end up taking out my Silvally. So what this does now, though, is lets me ensure that he doesn't get a Beast Boost, because Blacephalon's not the one that kills it. I go out to Greninja pretty much knowing that, hey, I kill with Extra Sensory, so if he wants to go to Tentacruel, fine. If he wants to go Lando, I Ice Beam, fine. So Extra Sensory to me is a no drawback play. I mean, he can go out into his Umbreon, he can go out to Jolteon, and they're all taking damage. He's going to withdraw Clinton Dix. as he goes out to Scruffy the Jolteon as I fire off the extra sensory. And this is where maybe not having Stab Greninja kind of hurts, as that extra sensory does nothing. So as soon as I saw that damage, I figured this Jolteon is Assault Vested to take on my Magearna. That's pretty much his best Magearna switch in at this point, as I'm just going to withdraw Greninja. I go out to my Kecleon as he goes for Volt Switch and goes out to his Landorus. Now, this is where I said maybe going into Kecleon would have been better instead of going into Silvally, because now I'm in a tough spot here to where I don't know what he's going to do with Landorus, if he has Superpower, if he has Fly. So here I make a misplay on my part. Even at -1 with the toxic damage on Landorus, I still KO with Ice Punch. So I was really banking on him potentially going for Substitute or something, when my play should have just been Tangrowth. I shouldn't have thought of any other play. My play should have just been Tangrowth, and it ends up costing me my Kecleon. And it was just stupid play on my part. There was really no reason for me to do that. I just go into Tangrowth. Oh well, I take the Stealth Rock damage, but now I can fire off Leech Seeds and stuff, and we are in a very good spot. But stupid play on my part now puts me down 6-4. And I bring in Tangrowth. I fire off a Leech Seed here, simply because it's just easy move for me to click. It phases out his Landorus in case he's fearing HP Ice. He goes out to Devout, which is the Umbreon. That's fine, because now my Tangrowth can start gaining recovery from this Umbreon. I can fire off a free knockoff. I have no reason not to click knockoff to get rid of the items on Landorus if he has anything but Groundinium Z. Maybe he's a Yachi Berry. I also can get rid of leftovers from the Umbreon. I can get rid of... what was the Pokemon I'm missing? Potentially the Assault Vest from Jolteon. If I get rid of the Assault Vest from Jolteon, now Magearna has an easier time the rest of this game being able to damage the Jolteon. So I fire off the knockoff. It was just the no drawback play for me. Leftovers are gone from the Umbreon, so now his recovery is limited. He's going to go for the Wish. Now, this is where I actually fire off the Earthquake, because if he does go out into Blacephalon, which is what I was really thinking, is him switching out to his Blacephalon just to gain HP recovery on that thing, I end up KOing it with Earthquake, which is fine. I mean, I'm okay with that. If I can get rid of the Blacephalon, I might have a chance, because that is the one major switch-in, not really switch-in, but check to my Magearna. I have the Shuca Berry, so I know I can live an Earthquake from the range that my Magearna's at. But instead, he goes out to his Landorus as I go for the Earthquake, so he will gain the HP recovery, but he's still poisoned. Fine. Here, I set up a Reflect because it just helps me take on this Landorus. So now Magearna can take an Earthquake with the Shuca Berry and still have enough HP to damage the Jolteon, which means I'm in a very good spot. If I can get rid of Jolteon, Landorus with my Magearna, that'll leave Umbreon, which I'm struggling at this point in the battle to have solutions to. He's going to show off the Fly, so while he doesn't have Fly Z, he still needed a way to hit my Tangrowth, as here I'm actually just going to make the double into my Magearna to pretty much take the Fly. Actually, I believe I actually go to Lycanroc. Yeah, I go to my Lycanroc just to take the resisted damage and get my Stealth Rocks. I do outspeed the Landorus, so if I can get the Stealth Rocks up, I'm actually very happy now. So, I mean, you're going to see the Fly's going to do a good amount of damage. So, I mean, the Landorus is pretty offensive. And I'm not sure why he ends up switching, but it allows me to get my Stealth Rocks up so that I can start getting some chip damage on Landorus, get some chip damage on Mawile, Jolteon, 25% on Blacephalon. So right here, he's actually going to double out into his Tentacruel, which surprises me a little bit because I can't touch it unless he maybe feared HP Ice as a tech, because Lycanroc does not get Ice Fang. So I get the Stealth Rocks up. He goes out to his Blacephalon. So now I can KO this thing with Excel Rock. I got the Stealth Rocks up. We're good to go here. And the Excel Rock is the play I'm making here. I guess he was just trying to sack this Blacephalon, knowing that there's not much he can do. Or he just switches it in, predicting me to HP Ice, which, I mean, in a sense, could have been a good play, but I felt like Toxic was just a better option for me, just to wear down the Landorus. So just go for the Excel Rock. Down goes the the Blacephalon. So now we're sitting down 5-4, trying to claw our way back into the game, as he's actually going to go to Tentacruel here, thinking that he can live a Drill Run from the range his Tentacruel's at. But Jolly Max attack, Lycanroc, Tough Claw boosted. Drill Run will actually take out this Tentacruel. Something that he actually said post-game really surprised him, as we are able to connect the Drill Run, and Tentacruel goes down. So we're tied 4-4. I'm still in a rough position simply because, one, I'm going to lose my Lycanroc here to poison damage, I believe. And I really don't have anything to deal with the Jolteon right now. Lycanroc didn't really answer it. I only have Tangrowth, which I guess can hit it with Earthquake. So I go out to my Magearna here, really just trying to bait out potentially the Landorus. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case, as he brings out the Jolteon, takes the Stealth Rock damage, which is great. And here, I go for Ice Beam. And that was mistake number one. I was really expecting the Landorus to just come in on potentially a Calm Mind, but he just ends up going for the Thunderbolt. I should have just clicked Floor Cannon, as it would have gotten off a good amount of damage and I could have just come in and checked this thing. But instead, I just withdraw, go out to my Tangrowth. As Tangrowth, I can just fire off Leech Seeds versus anything that he has. He's going to go for Thunderbolt, and it's actually going to do a good amount of damage, and that's my fault because I just have nothing to really switch into this Jolteon. Now I could have potentially brought Silvally Ground to help me out with that matchup. But here he's going to click Volt Switch, as I'm going to click, I believe it's Leech Seed. He's going to get the crit there. Or not crit, he's just going to get a high roll there on the Volt Switch, as I just go for the Leech Seed, as in comes the Mega Mawile. So, I mean, I could have clicked Earthquake and done a chunk to this Mega Mawile. Actually, I set up the Reflect. With him having Umbreon, Landorus, Mega Mawile, Jolteon, two of those I really need to take less damage from physical hits. Now, I'm just switching out my Tangrowth here and going out into my Magearna. Actually, no, I go for the Leech Seed here. This is pretty much the scout for SD Sucker Punch, because that is a possibility. Sucker Punch is pretty much guaranteed on this Mawile, so I go for the Leech Seed to start gaining recovery, start wearing down this Mawile, and see what he's actually going to go for. So Mawile starting to get weakened here, as I'm down 4-3 at this point. So, I mean, it's still in a tough position where I can potentially win. I'm just going to I had to really think of my late game plays. And here is where I end up actually just switching out into my Greninja. This is where maybe HP Fire instead of Toxic Spikes is more beneficial to me. Spikes are great. Spikes are fantastic to have, because now Jolteon's taking Stealth Rock spike damage. He's going to go for the Fire Fang here. No drawback play. He can just wear me. He can just attack against Magearna versus Tangrowth with the Fire Fang. On my end, though, if I had HP Fire, this Mega Mawwile's gone. I can sack off my Magearna to the Jolteon, and I still have a chance with Tangrowth and Greninja, had I had HP Fire. Now, it's still an issue because, I mean, Tangrowth getting worn down by the Toxic. Jolteon's doing a lot of damage. So here, I just go for the spikes, hoping these late game spikes could actually help me in the long run. As the Mega Mawile goes again for the Fire Fang, pretty much just trying to see if I go out into Tentacruel or into my Magearna. So my fault prep-wise, really for not bringing a good Greninja set. The double Toxic Spike really wasn't good for me, as he has a Tentacruel which absorbs the Toxic Spikes. He has a Mega Mawile, so like I understand the reasoning for it, for the Umbreon and such, but just really doesn't help me here, as HP Fire or even just Water Stab would have knocked out this Mega Mawile. If I had Water, like just even Scald, this Mega Mawile dies, and I'm in a little bit better spot. But I mean, losing Kecleon, which can deal with Jolteon to an extent, that's where I said that me sacking off the Jolteon to the Landorus was probably one of the dumb plays, as I could have kept it alive for the Jolteon. Killed it with a Sucker Punch after the hazard damage. As I go out into Magearna, and pretty much here just click Floor Cannon. There's really no reason for me not to click Floor Cannon. It will pretty much ensure and kill, but instead I actually end up going and hard switching out into Tangrowth. Pretty much I had to try to keep everything as keep my Tangrowth as healthy as I could, because it was pretty much the only way I won the game. He's actually just going to end up going for Fire Fang, taking Rocky Helmet damage, so I think the Rocky Helmet damage is actually more beneficial, as it does wear down the Mega Mawile, but he can actually just Sucker Punch me for game. So it's going to end up being, I believe, a 4-0 loss, possibly, actually I think it's a 3-0 loss, as Magearna is able to kill Mega Mawile. Yeah, I'm able to kill Mega Mawile with the Ice Beam. Now, had I potentially even brought Scarf Magearna, I think I outspeed Landorus. I might have had a chance, but I mean, Jolteon just comes in, clicks Thunderbolt, and wins, or Landorus just comes in and clicks Earthquake and wins. Landorus actually just comes in, clicks Earthquake, wins the game, and I end up falling in a 3-0 loss, in which it just came down to prep. I didn't prep very good for certain mons. And it was mostly coming down to I did not have a very good Greninja set. I feel like Toxic Spikes now, in hindsight, just wasn't the right bring. Lycanroc was a very good set. It did what it needed to do. It took out the Tentacruel. It Toxic the Landorus. It got Stealth Rocks up. That was fine. Made a mistake on the Kecleon. I should not have actually sacked that off to Landorus, simply because I could have Sucker Punched the Jolteon. I just had a good matchup with a lot of his Pokemon sitting there. So, a lot of hindsight changes, but just stuff that's got to get worked on for the rest of the season. It's only week 1, quite a few weeks left in the season. So, I did make some changes to the team, so you guys will see a transaction video probably next Wednesday on the transactions that will be made to the team. You guys also see the team builder for next week on Thursday, battle on Friday. But if you guys enjoyed week 1 of the PGL, go ahead, like the video, comment support for the Duckletts. Let me know what you guys want to see changed on the team, and I will let you guys help decide on maybe some changes I need to make to the team, whether it's adding more removal, getting rid of some bad Pokemon. You guys know the team. But guys, with all that being said, I am Johnny GB, and I'm out.